The alleged rape of a woman by an Uber driver in Iowa City raises concerns about safety when using ride-share services.
One school district is growing so fast that it could need a new school every 3 years.
And North Korea says it's still willing to meet for peace talks after President Trump abruptly canceled a summit for next month.
You're watching KCRG TV 9. Now, from your 24-hour news source, this is KCRG TV 9 News at 10.
It's great for people that do utilize that. Unfortunately, in this world we live in, sometimes there are people with not such great intention.
An Iowa City Uber driver faces charges of sexual assault after police say he raped a woman he was driving home. Police say that driver, Ali Al-Sheikh's DNA was found in the woman's rape kit.
Court documents accuse Al-Sheikh of driving an indirect route and stopping along the way where he assaulted the woman. The woman told police she was in the car for 30 minutes and that Al-Sheikh forced himself on her during that time. Al-Sheikh told authorities, though, he had no sexual contact with her, and he blamed the woman for trying to initiate sexual contact with him. KCRG TV 9 Samantha Myers talked with police today about how people using a rideshare service can get to their destinations safely.
Well, there are a number of things you can do to make sure you have the safest ride possible. The first thing you should always do is make sure the car you're getting into is actually your real Uber. This means you should ask them who they're picking up and verifying through the app that the make and model of the car are correct. Now, Officer Tom Dobbs with the Marion Police Department says if you can, always try to ride with multiple people because there's safety in numbers. But he says if you have to go it alone, have your phone ready to dial a friend.
By all means, if you can redial maybe someone you just called, hey, I'm getting in the car with an Uber driver, it's a black Ford Mustang, they just pulled up, and then keep that redial so if something does happen, you can hit the button as you're talking to the Uber driver, maybe give it out some kind of clues as to where you're at.
He says if you feel unsafe or are being sexually harassed or assaulted during your ride, it's important to collect as much evidence as possible. This means using your phone to record anything you can or remembering features of the driver. Now, a recent CNN investigation actually found 103 Uber drivers in the U.S. have been accused of sexually assaulting or abusing their passengers in the past 4 years. And of those 103, at least 31 drivers have been convicted for crimes. So gathering as much evidence as possible, as Officer Dobbs said, can be really important. Bruce and Beth?
Thank you, Samantha. Tomorrow, authorities in New York expect movie producer Harvey Weinstein to turn himself in on sexual misconduct charges. Women have accused Weinstein of committing sex crimes in New York, Los Angeles, and London. The allegations include rape, assault, and other forms of sexual misconduct. His surrender tomorrow involves charges for one case relating to former actress Lucia Evans. She said Weinstein assaulted her in his New York offices in 2004. Academy Award-winning actor Morgan Freeman is denying accusations of sexual misconduct against him by 16 women. They claim the veteran actor harassed or behaved inappropriately toward them on several occasions. In one incident, a woman says he tried to lift up her skirt and asked her if she wore underwear. Freeman, who is now 80, says he never intended to make anyone feel uneasy. He's apologizing to anyone who felt uncomfortable or disrespected.
Nate Boulton says he's still debating if he'll resign from the Iowa Senate after being accused of sexual misconduct by 3 women. Earlier today, he announced he would suspend his campaign for Iowa governor in the wake of the allegations. 2 women say Boulton rubbed his groin against their thighs in bars 16 years ago. A 3rd woman says he grabbed her behind at a bar 3 years ago. Senate Majority Leader Janet Petersen is asking for Boulton to step down from the Senate, but Boulton says that question remains up in the air.
We don't have a timeline. The legislature's out of session. We're gonna make the right decision for us and my constituents.
Boulton's name will still be on the June 5th primary ballot in his race for governor, although he announced he is not going to run for governor anymore. He says he will support the party's nominee. The 5 Democratic candidates still standing in the race are Kathy Glosson, Fred Hubble, Andy McGuire, John Norris, and Ross Wilburn. The winner of the primary will face off against current Governor Kim Reynolds. She's the only Republican running. Those who voted for Nate Boulton early ahead of next last month's primary have no way to change their stance now. That's the message the Johnson County Auditor had for us today. He says his office has been receiving dozens of calls since yesterday from people inquiring about what they can do if they voted for Boulton. Despite the environment of the race at this point, the county auditor there in Johnson says if people keep voting for Boulton, he could still win the primary. It's one reason the auditor says don't vote until Election Day.
It's unfortunate that this is all happening, but there's still, and I'm not saying that Nate isn't a good candidate. We still have a lot of great candidates out there. We have a very heated supervisor race here in Johnson County. So take time, get out and vote.
The Johnson County Auditor's Office reports more than 1,700 ballots have been voted early so far. People have till June 5th to vote.